I was in a domestic violence shelter with my baby who was under 1 year old with nowhere to go, no one to turn to. This is my journey that I've been on. Being homeless, being abused. Through the domestic violence shelter, I was able to find an apartment. My rent was paid by Department of Social Services and an agency.
When you think you'll never amount to anything because you've been beat down so much, I knew my life was gonna change the minute I got into my home.
My plan was to get Alyssa into daycare and then go to school and get a job. I needed that stability for me to go out and further my education, work, support my daughter fully. What I didn't understand was that one of the agencies that were helping out with my rent stopped paying it. Landlord let it build up, then the eviction came.
Here at Legal Services in our housing unit, we see landlords wait and let rent accumulate for long periods of time, surprisingly often. What they're really after is to get the tenant out. When Susan came to Legal Services of the Hudson Valley, she had been denied due process.
When the eviction notice came, I was frightened. I was alone.
I've been a carpenter since I've been about 19 years old. I'm used to always working.
Anytime I work, there's a party. See this?
It makes me feel good about myself, especially when I'm starting something from beginning to end. So I really like what I do.
Diego is a hardworking man. He's a single father raising his child on his own and was injured in a car accident.
I injured my knee, I injured my shoulder. Due to the surgery, I couldn't work. I could not pay the bills. And then after just missing 2 months of rent, my landlord had me served with some papers and I had to go to court.
All it takes is one incident, one accident, one injury, hours being cut at work for someone to end up in this situation and face being homeless.
I had one little thing that happened to me and it flipped my whole world upside down. Big time, big time.
Cases like Susan and Diego's really highlight the importance of the work done by Legal Services of the Hudson Valley. Preventing evictions and foreclosure is our #1 area of practice and the greatest need.
In the year 2018 alone, Legal Services of the Hudson Valley worked on 15,000 cases impacting 35,000 household members. However, that is small in comparison to the 600,000 people in our service area who are low income and considered eligible for our services.
We could hire hundreds more lawyers and still not really be meeting the need. There is a crisis in Westchester and the Hudson Valley in the area of housing. There's no affordable housing. Homeless shelters are full. Subsidized or affordable housing is scarce.
Every day that we see these high calendars with huge numbers shows us clearly that the numbers are real. People are being pushed out of their homes. Most of these tenants don't have counsel or representation and they don't understand the legal process. Without the assistance that we provide, people most likely will wind up losing their homes.
When people lose their housing, when people lose their homes, they often end up in crisis. Families are shaken up. Kids have to be removed from the schools. Their lives are turned upside down. Things become almost impossible.
My greatest fear going through the situation was losing everything, starting over, feeling hopeless, feeling depressed. The stability is everything for my child, for myself, for my mental state.
If I was to get evicted, I don't know where I would go. I just feel like I would be in the streets. I may lose my son. I fought so hard to have my son. I fought so hard for him to do what he has to do, to be at the position that he's in school and everything. I had no money to pay for a lawyer. I had no guidance on how to go about the situation that I was in. I did not understand my rights.
Hey, hi, welcome.
I didn't realize what the future was gonna bring by walking into this office. I didn't realize at all.
Legal Services of the Hudson Valley filed court papers on Susan's behalf, settling the case, allowing Susan to remain in the home.
Without Marcy, I would never been able to get out of this situation. She was my backbone. If it wasn't for her, we would not be there. Being able to stay in my apartment, I went to school, I'm working now, I'm fully off of social services, and I feel so good about that, knowing that I'm supported by all these people. It makes me feel like I can do it.
Diego's situation was one where he was entitled to a lease, but his landlord refused to give one to him. Once Legal Services of the Hudson Valley stepped in, we were able to identify that his apartment qualified for a lease renewal. Diego was then able to go to social services and obtain assistance with his arrears.
My lawyer, George, he's gone well beyond what he has to do. He understood my situation and he was able to make home visits. Legal Services, everything they provide, it just made me feel so confident and happy again, basically, because it's been a while since I can say I've been happy.
These are my first outfits.
That's the hair you want? I'm really expecting to get back to work right now, and I feel very confident that I'm gonna be staying here and get back to playing games with my son again, and that's what I'm looking forward to, just me and my son.
What makes Legal Services of the Hudson Valley different is the way they care about a person. They don't treat this like this is just a job. This is something that they do from within the heart.
I'm telling my story because there's times that I felt like giving up. There's times I felt like giving up. To find the help that I found, to get all this stress off of me, to go back to focusing on my son and not worrying about anything, I'd like to pay it forward and help other people know that there is help out there.